Greetings, everyone. This is Jeff Wilkerson, professor of physics at Luther College, bringing you the next in our series of What to Look For in the Night Sky. We're talking about the week of October 27th this time around. These have crept up a little bit long the last few weeks, getting over 12 minutes. We're going to try to pare that down, but boy, we have a lot of stuff to go through, and here I am jabbering about how long they are and how I'm going to try to shorten it up. So let's get going. The moon starts the week about 1/3 full, so not too bad for observing. We have favorable observing. The first half of the week gets a little bit worse and more moon light washing stuff out by the second half. By the night of the 30th into the morning of the 31st, the moon's about 2/3 full and it skims right by Deneb Algedi, the tail of the goat. So this is the star at the end of Capricornus. We talk about it a lot because it's right in the plane of our solar system. In fact, the last couple of months, the moon has occulted Deneb Algedi, has passed right in front of it. I don't think it does for anybody this time. I didn't check to see if there's somebody who can see an occultation of the moon over Deneb Algedi, but it'll be very close. So you've got a nice, relatively bright star right there with the moon sliding right past it. Then, by the end of the week, the evening of the 1st into the morning of the 2nd, the moon's 85% full or so, and the moon will pass about 3 degrees past Saturn. So you have big, bright Saturn. That'll be something to watch. You want to get out in the morning maybe of the 2nd or just after midnight and watch the moon slide past Saturn. That should be a nice pairing of the moon and Saturn. So what we'll look at is what we can see all night long. In the evening sky, look to the northeast. In the morning sky, look to the northwest. And so we're going to look at stuff, and in the, as the week wears on, you want to be looking later and later at night as the moon gets to be more and more intrusive here. All week, if you're looking at 3 or 4 in the morning, you should have a good view of this. Earlier in the week, you can do this not long after sunset. So what we see Perseus there, the bright star Myrrhfact at the heart of Perseus, and Perseus has this sweep of arms that points up at the back of Cassiopeia and 2 strands of legs that drop down. And so you got star, 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 star. Now, at the end of this strand of legs is Algol, the demon star, a 2.1 magnitude star. We'll come back and talk about that. We're going to talk about that next week. This is an eclipsing binary star. This week, the eclipses aren't very well timed. They're during the daytime for most of us, for me anyway. For most of us, that's 100% of us who are actually making this video at this time. But for some of you, depending on where you are, you might, if you're in Europe or Africa, you would have a chance to see eclipses this week. I will not. But we point up at the back of Cassiopeia that looks like a W or a sigma this direction. And we got this bright pattern of stars. This has been on my mind this week, the last couple of weeks, because what happens is we see a bright pattern of Cassiopeia and Perseus. These really stand out for me. They're bright enough, easy constellations for me to see. And just below there's been a group of bright stars. In fact, I see a triangle of bright stars down here. We got another 2.1 magnitude star and another 2.1 magnitude star, the same as Algol. This is Almach, the gamma star in Andromeda, and Merak, the beta star in Andromeda. Almach is a fine double star. Just about any telescope you got, get out, you see this 10 arc second separation. That's a good separation to pull out. Nice, beautiful blue and gold. Looks kind of like Albireo, the famous double star in the head of Cygnus the Swan. But this is a different version of that there. And then you've got a slightly fainter 51 Andromeda is a 3.6 magnitude star. And then you've got a couple of stars over here, bright Hamal, the alpha star in Aries, and the beta star in Aries, Shiratan, 2.0 and 2.6 magnitude. So this is what I've been seeing, is this group of stars. That reminds me, as I've been looking at this in the morning, this reminds me of the Gemini, Castor and Pollux, these 2 bright stars. Not the same, of course, but it's reminiscent in my mind. And we've got this pattern of bright stars, again, down below Perseus and Cassiopeia. And so we want to think about here, this Merak and Almach are part of a chain of stars that go back to the Great Square of Pegasus. And we have another chain that's up above there that starts with 51 and on the way back. And so this is a V of stars that hangs off the upper corner, the upper left corner, or if you will, the northeast corner of the Great Square of Pegasus. And if you've watched these before, you know that I've talked about this. We talk about the Andromeda Galaxy. We talk about Andromeda every fall. We probably will again this fall. It's just that spectacular. But we always come at it from the Great Square of Pegasus, where we go out 2 steps in this ladder, and then in the second chain up, you go up the same distance, and there's the Andromeda Galaxy. But we're coming at it the opposite direction. We're starting out at the wide part of the V and moving back in 1 step on the ladder rung, and you go up bottom, Mirach to the next star, same distance up. There's the Andromeda Galaxy. Big, fabulous object. Bigger, it's the size of the full moon, and it's bright enough you can see it with your naked eye. This is the galaxy. Edwin Hubble determined the distance to the Andromeda Galaxy by measuring a Cepheid variable star 100 years ago, and knowing the period of the Cepheid variable star told him the luminosity of that star, which then told him how far away this galaxy was. 2 million light years. This galaxy has to be outside the Milky Way, and it really settled the debate of whether the fuzzy patches we see on the sky are clouds of gas within the Milky Way or external. And it's just beautiful. I remember distinctly the first time I saw this 45 years ago. And so the first time I laid eyes on this without any optical aid, no binoculars or anything, holds up well to binoculars. Not, you see it's okay in a telescope, but binoculars may be your best view. Your naked eye view is fantastic. Likewise, up here, as you follow the sweep of arms of Perseus toward the back of Cassiopeia, you come to a fuzzy patch that's beautiful with your naked eye and really good in binoculars, and that's the double cluster. 2 open star clusters, big, bright, fabulous, rich open star clusters with thousands of stars in each cluster. We look at that all the time. So these are just fantastic. The double cluster, great naked eye object, great in binoculars. Maybe okay in the very widest power eyepiece you have, 40 millimeter eyepiece, 50 millimeter eyepiece, whatever the widest lowest power eyepiece that your telescope can handle. It'll hold up okay, but binoculars are probably best for both of these things. These are fabulous objects. Return to them every night in the fall and winter. Why not? Go out and enjoy these 2 objects to look at. They're well placed right now all night long. These are famous, a galaxy and a pair of star clusters, but there are other examples of these objects nearby here that would be maybe famous if they didn't have these more famous objects close to them. Maybe not. They're not that great. But let's start with M34 is an open star cluster about 5 degrees. That's about half a fist width from Algol, dropping off mostly to the west. Dropping off above the V of Andromeda. And so it sits about 5 degrees away, and it's about 7 degrees above Almach, toward Perseus from Almach. M34. M34 is a good open star cluster. You can probably catch a glimpse of it with your naked eye. Use your averted vision, the sides of your eyes, and have a really dark sky. I suspect you can see it. Holds up great, beautiful in binoculars. Maybe your best view is in binoculars, but this is another one where you want to use a very low power eyepiece. Your 40 millimeter eyepiece maybe. It depends on what telescope you have, but that's what I would use in my telescope. And this is going to be a nice glittering jewel of an open star cluster, overshadowed a little bit by the nearby double cluster, but great. You drop that 7 degrees down to Almach, and halfway there, 3.5 degrees below M34, 3.5 degrees above Almach, you've got NGC 891. NGC 891 is a beautiful side-on galaxy. Remember, galaxies are these big flat disks, and you can see them face-on where they're big and not as bright, or side-on where they look like a slash of light, and they're brighter, but they're not as big. And this is a side-on spiral galaxy 891. It's a good object. 6-inch telescope should show it really well. I think you can catch a glimpse of it in a smaller scope, a 2, 3, 4-inch telescope. You can catch a glimpse of it. 10 or 12-inch telescope, it's going to start to show it really well in some detail if you've got dark skies. You want dark skies. Dark, transparent skies are going to work really well for you here. And so that's what you're going to have here. So NGC 891, great example of a galaxy, again, overshadowed by the nearby M31. Let's look at one more. If you go back up to Mirfak and go about halfway down, as you start down the strand of legs that's leading you to Algol, the strand that's lower and closer to Andromeda, the first brighter star you come to is Kappa from Mirfak. About halfway between Mirfak and Kappa Persei. you have another open star cluster, NGC 1245. Fantastic open star cluster. A good 100 or 200 stars, fainter than M34, smaller than M34. Well, it's a big object, but it's fainter stars. But so this one maybe, you'll see it in the binoculars maybe, but you want a telescope for this one. So you've got the same 6-inch telescope or 4-inch telescope or 8-inch telescope that you were using to check out NGC 891. Go back and look at NGC 1245 and see a great example of an open star cluster. All of these objects are great for photography if you're out there taking pictures with your smart telescope. If I were going to pick one this week, I might try NGC 891 as a fun object to get a picture of. It's going to hold up. It's going to show better in a photograph relative to what you see in the telescope more than some of these other objects, although they all would be great. A lot of stuff, good stuff this week. We've got the moon passing by Saturn. We've got the moon scooting right by Deneb Algedi. We've got all of this stuff that we're looking at in Perseus and Andromeda. And we're coming at Andromeda the backwards way from what I usually do. I usually look at it from the Great Square Pegasus, but this has been fun for me to think about looking at this region of the sky from the opposite direction. And that's what we got this week. As always, thanks for watching, everybody, and we hope you have a great week ahead.